Liberia. The hour of politics with a beautiful music from the Southeast is Dribble, people. It's the hour of politics. President Weah made his constitutional report to the nation, Liberia. And in keeping with political tradition, the opposition had to respond. And in keeping with our responsibility here at Focus on Liberia, the hour of politics, we have to analyze. And you are part of this culture here, you must share the broadcast. It's the hour of politics with the beautiful music from the Southeast. You want to know what this singer is saying? I will let you know. The hour of politics. Answer this year. Focus on Liberia. Hit that share button. Of course, President Weah reported he did his constitutional duty, and in keeping with the political culture or tradition, the opposition did give a response. And in my role as your media guy, I'm here to do the analysis. Let's do this, people. But I can't do this without dancing to the beat of this beautiful music, classically, written and performed by this dearly global sister here from the Southeast. I'm loving it, man. Whatever good thing must come to an end, and so is this music. And so let's get started here in no time with the program here at Focus on Liberia. Let's do this.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Anselin CA, your host of our program, The Hour of Politics. In today's edition, we are here with the topic, the opposition response to President Weah SONA. Yesterday, President Weah fulfilled his constitutional duty. Article 58 of the Liberian Constitution gives the mandate to the president to report every year on the state of the nation's affairs. In other words, the president is constitutionally mandated to tell the Liberian people how he served them in a particular year. And so President Weah has given his final State of the Nation's address for his first term as President of the Republic of Liberia. How did he do? Did he deliver well? President Weah is on record for fulfilling this particular constitutional responsibility, just as any other president has done in the past. That is not the debate. The issue is, did this president deliver the state of the nation's affairs based on the truth, based on the realities? Did he capture what ordinary people are experiencing in the country? Did he tell the achievement of his government? And did he tell the truth? Was he honest enough to give an accurate account of what happened? What about promises that he was able to accomplish? Did he narrate the promises as accomplished? What about promises broken, or that he failed to accomplish, or that his government failed to accomplish? Was he honest enough to also report that to the nation? Did he give the nation hope? Well, that is all we are here to discuss, and we are not forgetting the opposition's take on the president's constitutional report. And so, folks, as expected, President Weah did give an address to the nation. And President Weah's report was filled with a laundry list of achievements, according to the president, that he and his government not only accomplished in last year, but since they took office in 2018. Now, let us say here, the speech was very long. And let us also say here, the speech has so many words in it that many people think are completely unnecessary. For example, in the words of activist Martin Colley, the speech was so long. It was 3 hours, 21 minutes exact. The speech was about 66 pages long. The speech has 7,281 words. The speech has 465 paragraphs. And the speech has about 107,075 characters. According to activist Martin Colley, the speech had 85% grammatical errors. I don't know how Martin arrived at that, but that is his assessment. In addition to Martin, there are many Liberians who agree that the speech was the longest ever they've seen in their lifetime. And so the question is, was it necessary for it to have been long? And also the terminologies, the words used. What was President Weah trying to accomplish with this long State of the Nation's address? So many big words. Could he have accomplished what he was set to do in this speech with a short speech that will have so much, that will not have so much unnecessary words? Some people are saying yes, President Weah could have given a speech that will have, or that will not have, all these unnecessary words. And that, in fact, a 90-minute speech could do it. But President Weah took 3 hours, 21 minutes to be exact. And what happened was people sat for 3 hours, 21 minutes, listening to the president, listing a laundry list of things that he said his government has accomplished. And so, what do you make of all that? Now, talking about the accomplishment, the President Weah did a good job to narrate his accomplishment. It depends on who you talk to. But I would say to you, yes, President Weah did his best to tell the Liberian people what, in his opinion, was accomplished not only last year, but also for the entire time he's been in office. Now, what he did not do, though, is the fact that he did not tell us promises made that became failed promises. That President Weah did not do. And I think President Weah, by failing to not tell us those things that he promised and did not fulfill, or that he did not lace the broken promises, that being President Weah was not accurate. Because the report should not only be what you accomplish, the report should not only be the realities of the ground, on the ground, the report should also speak to your failures. The report should also talk about the impact of the accomplishments that you have achieved. So 2 things. President Weah did not narrate the promises that he failed the Liberian people on, and he also was not strong or did not go deep. In fact, he didn't care to talk about the impact of this accomplishment that he boasted about in his speech. So I agree, there were some things that were accomplished. For example, the issue of roads. But President Weah did not do a good job in telling us how those roads being built are impacting or improving the living standard, or those roads are helping to ease conditions of the people in Liberia. For example, the issue of prices, the issue of transportation. You know, have prices reduced in Liberia as a result of the construction of these roads? He talked about hospitals that he's built. How furnished are these hospitals? Who are the professionals in these hospitals? I mean, have Liberians gotten, healthier because there have been hospitals built? Are the hospitals actually providing the necessary care for our people? Or have the hospitals become just empty hospitals? I mean, did he renovate hospitals? What happened as the result of the renovation of the hospitals? Did we get that report from the president? So the impact of whatever was achieved was not articulated by the president. And that's the place Liberian people who have gotten to know that the president was giving an accurate report Because the reason he became president, the reason these projects are being carried out, the reasons are, among other things, to improve the living and material condition of the people, to ease the challenges, like reducing prices, transportations and food, and all of those things. But what we have come to know that yes, there is the military hospital. How equipped it is. How many citizens has it served or is it serving? Don't we have these hospitals that has been built that the president talked about, and yet even the vice president is sick? When she's sick, she's flown out of the country. When the finance minister is sick, he's flown out of the country. Don't we have the JFK? If JFK not equipped enough as a preferred hospital in Liberia to cater to the finance minister, to cater to the health needs of the finance minister and the vice president and many other officials in the country. We are reminded, of Mabutu Yimpan, who got sick and was flown to Ghana and later even had to die. So, folks, what is the impact? The president boasted about buildings, the NPA. There's some headquarters that has been built, and so many, few other buildings. I mean, president boasted about markets. The Ominga market is one. The market in my hometown of Nikruta is another one. The Douala market, to be specific. So, but the very Douala market, as you may be aware, those who follow Focus on Liberia, we sent our reporter there, and the marketeers in the building, all of them complain. Feces in the building, poor mileage. They don't even have toilet facilities. They don't even have bathrooms. There's no storage facilities, and people are not selling in the markets because things are not in place the way things are supposed to be in place. So the impact is supposed to be making how it should have improved the market condition and the selling condition of the people. Those things are not happening. So the president should have done a much better job in articulating the impact of these projects and how these projects, upon their completion, have helped to ease the living condition and improve the living condition of the people. The president did not do that. Now, another thing the president did not do is the president did not tell us about promises that he did not accomplish or fail, or broken promises. He did not do that. That was dishonest on the part of the president. The fact is, all of us as humans in life, we fail. Failure is a part of life. And in fact, failure should be seen as a valuable lesson in life. Because when you fail, chances are that you get to know why you fail. Chances are that you come to realize you did not put in your best effort. Chances are that you learn how to do things differently. So this idea of us seeing failure as this bad, and so we rob ourselves of the honesty to communicate our failures, it is just not good. So, President, we have failed on that. So yes, we can all agree there were little projects accomplished here and there. For example, the issue of bills that were passed. There are so many bills that have been passed that the president signed into law. For example, they talk about the Camara Act, which talk about press freedom, to not go after people for reporting what they have to report and getting criminally charged. That is a good thing. All right. They talk about free speech and all that, but we know that there is some form, of press freedom in Liberia as a result of that. Why couldn't the president have gone into detail what is happening as a result of it? How are Liberians benefiting from that? So another thing is that the president talked about the dual citizenship bill. That is a good accomplishment on the part of the president. And, I wish he had gone further to explain the benefit of those things, of the dual citizenship bill to Liberian people. In my opinion, I think it was a good bill. because it impacts me specifically in thousands of Liberians who are living in the diaspora. And so that is a good bill, that once a Liberian is always a Liberian. So yes, we can all agree there was some accomplishment there that are very meaningful, when it comes to the development of our country. I mean, the laundry list of bill passed into law, how are those things impacting? They talk about President. We also talk about the rape case, the roadmap. How is that roadmap minimizing, rape? President, we have sometimes made a promise about a chief prosecutor for rape to fast track rape cases. Is that happening? So, but let me quickly talk about promises that the president did not accomplish, but was not honest enough to disclose to the Liberian people or to include in his report. Yes, he included in my judgment all of the things in his opinion from the belief or in the belief of the government that they were able to accomplish. But to have done that in just 3 hours 21 minutes with unnecessary words and wasting people time, when in fact the reality is that despite these accomplishments here and there, the living condition of the Liberian people, the living conditions have not improved. Prices have gone up high. The price of everything in Liberia has gone up, either double or triple in Liberia. That is a fact, including transportation, despite of the boasting about roads. Even our staple food, rice, the price has increased today. The government is not investing significant money in agriculture. Same president we had talked over, money that went to the Ministry of Presidential Affairs far exceed quadruple money set aside for agriculture to create food sufficiency in Liberia. What about that? So if you see the speech and you look at it, you see that the priorities of the government completely disaligned. It's not aligned at all. So that dishonesty was just profound. And so could the president have gotten honest enough? Could he have been honest enough to talk about the promises that he could not fulfill, that he failed, that he broke, just as he was enthusiastic to talk about promises that he was able to accomplish? Why did he deliberately, intentionally, and willfully, why did he choose to do so by not reporting what he could not accomplish? So, folks, yes, here are some of the promises the president made that he failed and he was not honest to talk about. Some time ago, we heard about 22 investors from the United Arab Emirates and how they were coming to invest in Liberia. And some time back, we heard about 4 Israeli companies that were coming to Liberia. Where are those investors today? We have not seen them. The president did not talk about that. Sometime back, the president talked about 7 soccer stadiums to be built across the country. And that was included in the coastal highway that they promised that they would have built from Monrovia all the way to Maryland County, the city of Harper. The president decided not to talk about that. The president sometime back promised 2,000 housing units for the people of West Point. What we saw the president doing in West Point was to build a little soccer pitch in there for the hungry and suffering, weary people of Negro Town children to go and play football. What happened to the 2,000 housing units that were promised? President Weah chose not to talk about that. The president also promised that they will have empowered 250,000 out-of-school youths, young people who are out of school, that they will have empowered them. Was that achieved? That was a promise broken. The president did not talk about that. They also talk about free loan for market women. Is that happening? Because, when we sent our report out, and there were women at the ground of the Capitol building, and they were there talking about they are there to support the president. Some of them were saying they support the president. The president achieved so much. But when they asked them what they want the president to do, They said, well, we want loan. We want the president to give us money for us to do our businesses. So these are women who were brought, more than likely giving some money in tithes and in dues. All right, that they were transported there, to show that things are all right in the country. That is a deception. And the women, in their own desperation, having no options and opportunity, went there anyway. After some of them said that, oh, all was well, the president is achieving so much, they will vote for the president, they will support the president. But when the serious question came, but what do you want the president to do for you? They started talking about what the president is not doing for them. And you could tell from their faces, the hardship was written on their faces. They were looking hopeless. And so, folks, you can't fake it. And also, our president talked about free medical care for citizens, senior citizens above the age of 70. This government made that promise, that it was going to be providing free health care for Liberian citizens above the age of 70, that they will go to hospital free of charge. It is not happening. That is a promise that was broken by the president and the CDC, but they will not talk about it. Don't listen to them telling you about the increase in the salaries of civil servants in Liberia. In fact, in the speech, the president made a promise that he will increase salary. What we know is that they harmonized salary and some people got salary cut. What we know also is that there are people working at the Ministry of Information who are making $45 United States dollars as their salary. In addition to that, $45 United States dollars, they're making $1,000 depending on which position one holds, either $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000 Liberian dollars. That is a negligible amount of money for a family. President Weah has not increased the pay of Liberian employees, the government employees or civil servants in his government employ. He is promising that almost at the end of his first term. That is a promise broken by the president. Why? The president chose willfully, intentionally, and deliberately to not talk about the pain of these Liberians who are going through these conditions. Why? So, folks, many promises broken that the president chose not to talk about, and that was intentional. And let alone these people who are making this negligible amount of money in salary, they are not getting it on time. They had to protest. Nurses have protested. Teachers have protested. Almost everybody have protested. Every sector have protested. Even the EPS. People who are providing security for the president, they are underpaid. Why the president flies private jet? And also talking about promises broken by the president. The president promised us the wings of Liberia, Lone Star Air, that there was going to be an airline by this government to ease the cost of travel, air travel, for Liberians who want to go to Ghana and other countries to do businesses. All right? What happened to that? Now, there was an entire ceremony held. President Weah dedicated this Lone Star Air, the wings of Liberia. They had a kit plane, and it should have started operation since 2021, October to be specific. We are in 2023 today. The only promise the president did not break is providing himself a jet every time he travels. And the one he said that was intended for Liberian people to pay an affordable airfare when they want to go to Ghana, the Dubai, Ivory Coast, and other countries in Africa, where they will get that, or where they usually get their goods to sell. That has not happened. It is a promise that was broken. Now, let us also talk about the Weah factory. They promised us that the First Lady Claude Marie Weah, who have brought a wheat factory in Liberia from China. What has happened to that? Why couldn't the president tell us what happened to that wheat factory? So many promises, and I can sit here and just go on and on. So to conclude, yes, President Weah did what he felt was right to do by narrating and giving us a laundry list of things that he has accomplished, but he failed to tell us the impact of those accomplishments, how those accomplishments, have helped to better, the living and material condition of our people. That the president did not do. The president also failed to tell us the promises that he broke. So President Weah was completely dishonest. He did not give an accurate assessment of the country because his report fell short of the reality, the harsh economic conditions the people are facing in finding food, cost of transportation, children not in schools, hospitals are completely death traps for our people, the insecurity in the country, mysterious deaths, and so on and so forth. The president did not do that. And at long last, the president ended with this by saying, the state of the nation is strong, the state of the nation is vibrant, the state of the nation is youthful, the state of the nation is peaceful and secure, unquote, by ending, and we intend to keep it that way. I'm not sure if the woman who is having a hard time keeping her child in school will agree with President Weah that the state of the nation is strong. I'm not sure the employee who has not taken pay and as a result is finding it difficult to feed his family will agree with President Weah that the state of the nation is strong. How strong is the state of the nation when people are finding it difficult to find daily meals, transportation, and all that? The president said the state of the nation is vibrant. Look up that word vibrant. When something is vibrant, it means that it's in tight. There is nothing to worry about. What is vibrant about Liberia today? Prices? Healthcare? Security? What is it? The cost of education? School fee has gone up? What is vibrant about our country today? President Weah is brave to say the state of the nation is vibrant because he flies private jets, because his budget is the biggest it have ever gotten in our nation's history, because the budget of the speaker has gotten fatter than it has ever been in our nation's history. The budget of the first lady, for the first time we have a first lady who has a budget. So in President Weah's word, the nation state of affairs is vibrant. Joel Howard Taylor budget has gone to $3 million United States dollars. So in President Weah's words or thinking, the state of the nation is vibrant. No, it is not vibrant. The state of the nation is bad. I beg to differ with the president. And I believe many Liberians would disagree with the president as well. For officials of the government, for some, the state of the nation is vibrant. They are enjoying the best of cars. They are enjoying the best of budget. And so for them, the state of the nation is strong for them. Not all of them, though. Because the last time we listened to one government official in person of our current Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Mr. Ledger Wurini, he was complaining and whining. He was crying, baby. His ministry is not being supported. He has been completely ostracized. People at his ministry are making $45. It's not even on time. So, folks, for him, this nation, Liberia, is not strong. It's a deception. It's a lie. How could this president from the slum of Gibraltar, who rose from ashes to glory, who have seen poverty, will come and intellectualize the suffering of our people, all because he's well today? Yes, President Weah might be right, but he is right in his entire different world, in his own world only, and not in the nation Liberia. In his world, his mansions are all built, well furnished. We saw the car the president drove yesterday. I mean, who sits in such a luxurious car costing over 100,000 United States dollars and will not think that the state of the nation is vibrant? Who will not think that way? Yes, he is in an entire different world. I'm not sure he's living the life Mamusu is living. I'm not sure he's living the life the Shushanbo is living. I'm not sure he's living the life the woman in Douala who was complaining the other day is living. You can boast of Jamaica, I mean not Jamaica, or Omega market, but the woman who has to go to that Omega market now will have to spend more money for transportation to get to that market. And buyers have to spend more money to get to her. As a result, the price has doubled. As a result, they are not even getting to her. They are stopping at one Willow market somewhere. And so she's not making business. So folks, President Weah spoke and he was not accurate. He did not speak to the reality on the ground. All he did was to boast and narrate a laundry list of things he believed the government have accomplished. Whether or not those things have impacted the lives of the people, President Weah has no clue and does not care. And whether or not President Weah cares to talk about promises broken, he has no intention to do so. So I beg to differ with the president, and many of you will agree with me that the president was not right and he was in the wrong to say the state of the nation is actually strong, vibrant. The one who is hungry does not think the nation is peaceful because he's fighting hunger every day. The one who is looking for a job to feed his family does not understand that the country is peaceful anymore, for he is fighting for a job and he can't get one. And for the one who has medical bills to pay, who cannot get admitted in the hospital because he does not have money, I don't think that person thinks or believes or feels that the state of the nation is secure. The government promised that people at age 70 will go hospital and they will get free care. The last time I sent my father to the hospital, it was not free. Even though this government promised free medical care for Liberian senior citizens above the age of 70. Hello? Professor Jones Dopo, who is well known and taught at the University of Liberia for years. There is an SOS call out there for him, asking Liberians from all walks of life to contribute to his health care. His children are trying to provide care for him. What is the promise that when you are 70, you will get free health care and you can go to any hospital? President Weah did not tell the truth. On that note, we beg to differ with the president that he did not tell the truth, that he came to sing a hallelujah and kumbaya for himself and his government, and he did not come to tell the Liberian people how things are and how the nation Liberia is actually doing. Having said that, let us see how the opposition looking at it. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you responses and reactions from the opposition community. And then now we'll open the phone line to ask you, who do you believe? Do you believe the president on some things and disagree with you on some things? Do you agree with the opposition entirely? A short break, and we will be right back. Folks, we are back with you in continuation of the broadcast. The opposition response to President Weah SONA. That is the State of the Nation's address. So today, opposition leaders in Liberia responded to the report of the president. We will start with the CPP. The CPP, through its leader, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, gave their response to President Weah's State of the Nation's address. Just as we told you that President Weah's report lasted for 3 hours, 21 minutes, we will also report to you that the response from the CPP lasted for 29 minutes, I think 6 seconds. And in that 29 minutes, 6 seconds, the CPP, through its leader, Alexander Benedict Cummings, was able to respond to President Weah's State of the Nation's address. This is what Mr. Cummings had to say. According to Mr. Cummings, speaking on behalf of the opposition CPP, or the collaboration CPP, he said President Weah lied to us. In Cummings' words, President Weah told a complete lie, that he lied to the country, he lied to the Liberian people. Mr. Cummings went on to say President Weah has weakened the republic, disagreeing with President Weah that the state of the nation of the republic is not strong. In his words, President Weah has actually weakened the republic. He went on to say that President Weah has made Liberian people poorer. That he has made Liberian people poorer, because in one of the promises of the president promised that he would be able to lift 1 million Liberians out of poverty. But Mr. Cummings is saying that President Weah has done the opposite. Instead of lifting 1 million people out of poverty, Mr. Cummings, according to his response, said President Weah instead has made Liberians poorer in Liberia. He continues by saying, President Weah has embarrassed our nation, Liberia, internationally. He said what the president has been up to for the last 5 years and more has basically been that President Weah has been partying and President Weah has been vacationing. He's always on vacation. He's always having party. According to Mr. Cummings, President Weah is not in charge of the country. And he said, in fact, the country is left alone to run itself. And that because the country is running itself, everyone is doing their own thing. According to Mr. Cummings, the republic is weak. And as a result of that weakness, and President Weah is actually the one who has weakened the republic, there are no jobs, no security, no hope. He said President Weah promised the people of Liberia hope, but instead President Weah is doing the opposite, and that President Weah is giving the people of Liberia nothing but hopelessness. He went on by also saying that President Weah has dug a big hole for the people of Liberia and the nation Liberia, and President Weah has no clue whatsoever how to pull us or dig us out of that hole. And then Mr. Cummings went on to talk about how when he becomes president, there will be free speech, there will be good governance, the law will apply, and that, there will be jobs that he will pay people on time. And after making his own laundry list of promises, he ended by inspiring hope in Liberians and the nation Liberia, that Liberia will rise again, and there will be a Liberia that will be better than this when he becomes president. That was Mr. Cummings' response to President Weah's State of the Nation's address. We also heard from Nyomli Kanka Lawrence, who is the Imbacto political leader of the opposition Liberty Party. She is the head of a faction of the Liberty Party. She is the head of that party's faction. The disagreement is there, but Senator Nyomli Kanka Lawrence spoke, and just as Cummings said, she said, President, we are told a complete lie. In her words, if Liberians want to see who is telling the truth, they should only listen to President Weah's speech and then go in the community and ask people how they are feeling. They will know that President Weah is telling the truth. President Weah is not telling the truth. President Weah is not telling the truth. That's what she said. And she said they got the president boasting about inflation being reduced. She said President Weah does not deserve any credit. It is the IMF and the World Bank that has been bankrolling Liberia, trying to help our country to stay stable. So President Weah cannot claim credit for that. She talked about insecurity in the country. She talked about high prices. She's talking about bad hospitals. She went on and narrated that all of these things that happen in the country that are bad for the country, President Weah decided not to do that, but to shower praises on himself. The opposition Unity Party also did give a response. And in the response of the opposition Unity Party also talk about how there's corruption in the country, and President Weah is not fighting corruption. President Weah lied to the Liberian people. President Weah did not tell the truth about what the state of the nation is, and that the state of the nation is not strong, and that the state of the nation is bad, is weak. The Unity Party also gave a rebuttal to the President's State of the Nation's address, in which it completely disagreed with everything that the President has said, by saying the President did not tell the truth. The story that the President told is his own story, and it's not the story of the nation Liberia. So folks, that is it from us here today. We were able to give you some analysis of the President's SONA and the responses from the opposition community. We talk about Nyomli Kanka Lawrence, who is the Imbacto political leader of the opposition Liberty Party. She spoke, Unity Party spoke, and the ANC also spoke. And so, folks, with that said, we will now open the phone line and give you the opportunity to call in and let us know, what do you make of the President's State of the Nation's address? Did he tell the truth? Did he speak to the realities and the pains of the Liberian people? Do you agree with the President on the projects that he was able to accomplish, or that his government was able to also accomplish? And so we want to hear your take. And also, do you agree with the opposition to say that the President lied to us? Because basically that's all they're saying, that the President lied to us. He didn't tell us the truth about the state of affairs of the nation Liberia. We will take a short break. When we come back, we will be taking your phone calls. Stay tuned, folks. Don't go anywhere. folks, we are back with you. We will now take your calls. This is the number to call. The number is 605-313-6004. Enter the code 791-403#. And we will be more than glad to hear from you. What do you make of the president's State of the Nation's address? And what do you also make of the responses from the opposition community? We posted the phone line there in the Facebook live feed. I'm going to do my best to also pin it there. Let me see if I can pin that number there quickly. So, folks, we want to hear from you. What do you make of the President's State of the Nation's address? We want to hear from you. The phone number is on the screen there for you to call. It's posted in the Facebook live feed as well. We want you to call in right now. So while we wait for some phone calls, I'm going to be looking at some comments. I will be looking at some comments here quickly. Let me see if we can get to the comments while we wait for folks to start calling in. Let's start from the beginning here. This one from Marie. Marie writes, he's the only president that will connect our country. Marie must be in agreement with the president on the state of the nation's affairs. Let's hear from Infant Benin. Everywhere in the world there's struggle, but Liberians are the only people on Mother Earth that want to take the title. We are suffering. Let us hear from Jerry. Jerry, right? I am watching from Jamaica Road, Monrovia, Liberia. Thanks for the show. Thanks for watching. Let's hear from Famula, right? Famula is responding to Infant Benin. You are very much confused of what you are talking about, my friend. The remote comments here. Let's hear from James Tanu. You are a very big liar. There are 10 bathrooms in Douala Market, 5 for women, 5 for men. All right. Thank you for that information. We appreciate that. We need to hold each other accountable here. Let us hear from, and I hope you are telling the truth, and I just hope you are telling the truth. The man Mose, you are trying to be professional. I say President Weah is a liar, a crook, and he is very deceptive. No need to sugarcoat anything. Nobody stupid here. That is the man Mose. Let's see. Let's hear from Actual Factual, right? Weah's this month performance since 2018 and in the last year, to be specific, has made it easy for the opposition to respond. Question I have is why haven't the opposition responded more frequently? I think the folks in the opposition will tell you they are doing that. Let's hear from Patrick Kennedy. Kennedy, right? The official campaign period for the 2023 presidential and legislative elections are almost here. Take some time now and ponder on these. No face cap can cover your hunger for 6 to 9 years. 2, no t-shirt can protect you from insecurity for 6 to 9 years. 3, 25 kg rice cannot help your belly for 6 to 9 years, and on and on. That is his take right there. Let's see if we can go to the phone line to see if we have some callers there waiting. Let me see here quickly. If we have some callers waiting. Do we have callers? Yeah, we do. We have, this one is from, let's hear from the man, Harrison. Harrison, let me see if the volume is up here. Harrison, you are live.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Spear. So, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the Unity Party looks very awkward trying to talk about corruption. And that's what I wanted to say. They look very, very awkward trying to criticize, the CDC or party led by Mr. Weah about corruption, and talking about they're going to come back to stop corruption. So that was the funniest thing I've seen today. And the other party talking about they're coming back to stop corruption and stuff like that. So But yeah, but Mr. Cummings was very strong and very forceful, in his response. And Mr. Weah, he's gonna get a shock of his life because this man has offended so many people, everyone from closest friends to people that supported him. People were treated very, very badly. They did all by themselves. So the election will be, as you can see now, he's telling people just to get crowd. So I think it's gonna be one term for him. And I really look forward to Mr. Weah serving only one term. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Harrison. Thanks for the call. The next caller here is phone number ending in 0772, calling from Washington. Your name, please.
Hi, Mr. Pierre. Thank you for allowing me to briefly give my question. I'm Crown Weah.
Okay.
I'm calling. I've been following the president's SONA since he came to office. And the first thing I want to note here is that for the past 6 years, there has been nothing positive or uplifting for Liberia. And what is ironic is the statement that his affirmation that his administration intends to maintain things as they are. That should be a message for Liberians at large. Because if this is the case, then it means that Liberians have a choice to either stay where they are with him or make a change. I think that argues against his re-election. Because if Liberians feel that things are not what they want it to be, then I think, as far as they are concerned, he should be a one-term president. But the question is, what happens after he's removed? Right now, as it stands, Liberians have choices. But most successful voting of Liberians have been more tribalistic. We have ended up in a two-round case when this election is very clear indeed. Liberians need to look very critically at the platform of each of the candidates and make a decision. The argument that the opposition should come together is a recipe for long-term disaster because these opposition leaders are ideologically different. And if Liberians force them into an alliance, the alliance will fall apart immediately after Mr. Weah is out of the picture and they are faced with the tax of government. So Liberians need to now begin to make the decision while not looking to shortcut their responsibility, which is to choose a leader that will take them forward, not one that will bring them backward. Thank you again.
Thank you so very much for your contribution, folks. The phone line is still open if you wish to call and participate. If you look in the Facebook live feed, the phone number is posted there. It's right here on the screen. You will have the opportunity to give your take on the President States of the Nations address and also the responses that we heard from the opposition community so far. Focus on Liberia, answering the hour of politics. Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things our dear country, Liberia. Let me read more comments. This one is from George Freeman. Definitely, I am falling from Cape Mount. Somebody's following us from all the way Cape Mount. Yeah, from Infant Benny. Nothing. Your illicit opposition talking about. Now with staff President, we are winning a second term. Like yeah, from Brown Rides. Formula, absolutely. He just one family member back home to be begging him, speaking to somebody there. Well, so far, these are the comments that we have. On that note, folks, I would like to conclude this broadcast. I am of the belief that the State of the Nation's address I was delivered by President Weah was unnecessarily long and that it was filled with unnecessary terminologies. The speech could have been delivered in 90 minutes. The people who sat down for 3 hours, 21 minutes, were being punished by the president. It was very, very difficult listening to the president. I mean, it was just disgraceful that the president would keep the people of Liberia waiting for him in 3 hours just to read a speech filled with unnecessary words when little was just accomplished by him, and those little things could be talked about in just 90 minutes and let the Liberian people go and live their life. It was a waste of time because delivering a speech is just a fulfillment of a constitutional duty that he will just do in 90 minutes. To waste our people time for 3 hours was unnecessary, especially when this was not speaking to the realities on the ground 100% of the time. On the issue of roads, he could have talked about how many kilometers of roads they have paved, and that roads remain his priority and be done with roads. But he chose to be political and try to name every village where we see road passing, and we have to be waiting and waiting for 3 hours and 21 minutes. And he could not speak for Mamusu to understand that he's telling the truth. So that was a waste of time. And it was a waste of time. And President Weah is not right when he said the state of the nation is strong and vibrant. Liberia is, as a country, is not near being vibrant economically. It's not near being vibrant when it comes to the issue of security. Liberia is not near being vibrant economically, socially, educationally. Liberia is not near being vibrant when it comes to prices in the country. Not at all. And for the president to say the nation Liberia is vibrant, it was a lie. And that lie should not have been told. We have a weary, tired, and hungry nation. We see people getting killed, children getting raped in the country with zero accountability. We see corruption all over the place, down to his senior officials getting sanctioned for corruption. And he is telling us that Liberia is thriving and vibrant and strong and on the right trajectory. You call the right trajectory when people are getting killed mysteriously and no accountability? When corruption, we're talking about the census were marked by corruption, allegations of corruption, money stolen, poorly administered or executed census. Census were being postponed over and over, and yet was with a chaotic start. Come on. And you call that vibrancy? No, not at all. So President Weah was not telling the truth. Nothing vibrant about the census. Nothing vibrant at all in the country. So he was wrong. He did not tell the truth. And he intellectualized the suffering of the Liberian people. And for a president charged with the responsibility to improve the life and living standard of the people, and after under his watch, prices going in the roof, joblessness, hopelessness, and you name it in the country. And he talking about the state of the nation is vibrant. I agree with others who believe that the president lied and he did not tell the truth. And that was sad. And that he wasted our time. On that note, folks, we will come to the end of yet another edition of the Hour of Politics. Here I focus on Liberia with me, Anson Sia, your host. And until we see it again and again, when we see, I want to say bye-bye. But before you go this evening, focus on Liberia. We are having a show on the topic, the impact of fake nursing degrees scandal on the nursing profession, the journey to the nursing program. We will be here this evening. You don't want to miss it. This scandal, as we know it to be, completely is running the reputation of Liberian nurses, the image of the country Liberia, and the name of the people of Liberia, because a popular known Liberian citizen who projected himself as a voice, as an agent of change, as a man with moral rectitude, based on these charges. And if these charges, as alleged, are true, then he is a disappointment and a letdown of our people. And the impact it's going to have on all of us as Liberian citizens and our country, especially brothers and sisters who are in the noble profession. People will now question them. We see nursing licenses and diplomas being canceled in states. It was reported that in the state of Delaware, about 26. While I was live here, I got a text message from somebody here informing me, and the person is sending a headline here: 22 Georgia nurses who obtained diplomas illegally lose their licenses. This is it right here. So this is not good. And a Liberian who purported all along as a humanitarian has brought this shame, disgrace, and embarrassment to our country, especially on our nurses. We will be going into that discussion, and you do not want to miss it. On that note, the song says, we are all Liberians. That song is taking us home right now. And until we see you again this evening for that broadcast, my name is Anthony C. saying to you, bye-bye, and enjoy that song.
We are Liberians.